A growing threat, the rise of romance scams. These scams are becoming increasingly prevalent in our digital age, where more and more people are turning to online platforms to find love and companionship. The anonymity of the internet provides the perfect cover for scammers to operate, making it easier for them to deceive unsuspecting victims. Online romance scams are a growing problem. They're not just limited to dating websites, but also extend to social media platforms and even messaging apps. Scammers use these platforms to create elaborate stories and personas, making it difficult for victims to distinguish between genuine and fraudulent intentions. They target people looking for love and companionship. Often, these individuals are vulnerable, having recently gone through a breakup, divorce, or the loss of a loved one. Scammers prey on their emotional state, offering comfort and understanding, which makes the victim more susceptible to their deceit. These scams often involve sophisticated tactics. Scammers invest a lot of time and effort into creating believable backstories, fake photos, and even fake documents to support their claims. They may spend weeks or even months building a relationship with their victim before making any financial requests. Scammers create fake profiles on dating sites and social media. They often steal photos from real people to make their profiles look authentic. These fake personas are designed to appeal to the victim's interests and desires, making it easier to establish a connection. They use these profiles to build relationships with their victims. The scammer will engage in frequent communication, sharing personal stories and expressing affection. This creates a sense of intimacy and trust, which is crucial for the next phase of the scam. The goal is to gain the victim's trust and then exploit them financially. Once the scammer feels that the victim is sufficiently invested in the relationship, they will fabricate a crisis or urgent need for money. This could be for medical expenses, travel costs, or other emergencies. These scams can have devastating emotional and financial consequences. Victims often lose significant amounts of money, sometimes their entire life savings. The emotional toll can be equally severe, leading to feelings of betrayal, heartbreak, and deep psychological distress. Victims often feel betrayed and heartbroken. The realization that the person they trusted and cared for was a fraud can be shattering. This emotional pain can linger long after the financial loss has been addressed. They may experience feelings of shame and guilt. Many victims blame themselves for being deceived, thinking they should have seen the signs. This self-blame can prevent them from seeking help or reporting the scam, allowing the scammer to continue their fraudulent activities. It's important to remember that anyone can be a victim of a romance scam. These scammers are highly skilled at manipulation and can target people from all walks of life. Awareness and education are key to protecting oneself and others from falling prey to these deceitful schemes. Alice's story, a life upended. Alice, a retired teacher in her late 60s, had always been independent and strong. She had spent decades shaping young minds, and even after retirement, she remained active in her community, volunteering at local schools and libraries. Having lost her husband a few years prior, she found solace in her family and hobbies. Her days were filled with gardening, knitting, and spending time with her grandchildren, who brought immense joy to her life. However, as the years went by, loneliness crept in, and she decided to try online dating, hoping to find companionship again. The evenings felt longer, and the silence in her home grew louder. She joined a popular dating site, unaware of the dangers that lurked within the digital world. The idea of meeting someone new was both exciting and daunting, but Alice was determined to give it a try. Alice soon connected with a man named James, who claimed to be a successful architect working overseas. His profile was impressive, filled with pictures of exotic locations and architectural marvels. He was charming, attentive, and seemed genuinely interested in my life. James would send long, thoughtful messages asking about her day and sharing stories of his travels. We exchanged messages daily, sharing details about our families, dreams, and aspirations. Alice felt a connection she hadn't experienced in years, and her heart began to open up to the possibility of love once more. Building the facade, a web of lies. James was a master manipulator, carefully crafting a persona designed to appeal to Alice's vulnerabilities. Scammer. You are beautiful, intelligent, and the woman I've always dreamed of. He showered her with compliments, He listened patiently to her stories, offering words of comfort and support. He shared fabricated details about his life, his childhood, his passions, even sending pictures of his supposed travels. Alice, I had no idea these images were likely stolen from the internet, part of an elaborate facade designed to draw me in. The heart of the scam: exploiting vulnerability. Scammers prey on the emotions and trust of their victims, weaving intricate stories to gain sympathy and financial support. As weeks turned into months, James began weaving a narrative of hardship. He meticulously crafted a story that would tug at the heartstrings of his unsuspecting victim. He spoke of a business deal gone wrong, claiming he needed urgent funds to avoid legal trouble and financial ruin. His messages were filled with desperation and urgency, making it hard for Alice to ignore his pleas. "Scammer, I feel so ashamed asking you for help, but I promise I'll repay you as soon as I'm back on my feet. I love you." His words were carefully chosen to evoke a sense of guilt and responsibility in Alice. Alice, blinded by her feelings and his carefully constructed narrative, believed his every word. She couldn't see the red flags because she was emotionally invested in the relationship. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Each message from James seemed more urgent than the last, and Alice found herself sending more and more money to help him. Alice, I felt compelled to help the man I thought I loved, unaware that I was falling deeper into a carefully orchestrated trap. It wasn't until much later that the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, and the realization of the scam hit her hard. The emotional and financial toll on Alice was immense. She had been manipulated and deceived by someone she trusted, leaving her heartbroken and financially strained. Scammers like James exploit the vulnerability of their victims, leaving a trail of emotional and financial devastation in their wake. It's a harsh reminder to always be cautious and vigilant, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Discovering the deception. I trusted him, and I was so full of hope. I sent James money. I even emptied my savings and took out a loan, thinking I was helping the man I loved. His requests for money just kept coming, and they got bigger each time. When Alice finally confided in her daughter, alarm bells went off. Her daughter, suspecting a scam, began investigating James. A quick internet search revealed the truth. His photos were fake, his story was fabricated, and he was likely part of a larger criminal network. The aftermath of betrayal. The revelation hit Alice like a ton of bricks. The man she thought she knew, the one she had shared her hopes and dreams with, was nothing more than a figment of a scammer's imagination. The emotional toll was just devastating. I felt so betrayed, foolish, and utterly heartbroken. The financial loss was significant, but the emotional scars ran much deeper. Alice withdrew from her family and friends, consumed by shame and self-blame. The experience shook her sense of trust and left her feeling vulnerable and exposed. Protecting yourself and others. Alice's story is a stark reminder that romance scams can happen to anyone. Scammers are skilled manipulators, exploiting vulnerabilities and using sophisticated tactics to deceive their victims. However, there are red flags to watch out for. Be wary of individuals who declare their love very quickly or who are overly complimentary. Be cautious if someone is reluctant to meet in person or avoids video calls. Most importantly, never send money to someone you've only met online, no matter how compelling their story may seem. If you believe you've been a victim of a romance scam, it's crucial to report it to the authorities. Contact your local police and report the scam to the dating site or social media platform where you met the scammer. Reporting these crimes not only helps protect you, but also aids in bringing these criminals to justice and preventing others from falling victim to their schemes. Don't suffer in silence. Your voice can make a difference. If you or someone you know has been a victim of a romance scam, remember that you are not alone. There are resources available to provide support and guidance during this difficult time. Organizations like the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, and the Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3, offer resources and assistance to victims of online fraud. These organizations can help you understand your rights, navigate legal options, and provide emotional support as you rebuild your life. Protecting ourselves and others from romance scams requires a collective effort. Talk to your friends and family, especially those who are new to online dating or who may be vulnerable to these scams. Share information about common tactics used by scammers and encourage them to be vigilant. By raising awareness and promoting online safety, we can create a safer online environment for everyone. Remember, Knowledge is power, and sharing that knowledge can help protect those we care about. In today's digital age, it's more important than ever to be vigilant and protect ourselves from online threats. Romance scams are a growing problem, but by understanding the tactics used by scammers and being aware of the red flags, we can reduce our risk of becoming victims. Remember to trust your instincts, report any suspicious activity, and never be afraid to ask for help. By working together, we can create a safer and more secure online world for everyone.